I'll be talking about AI in healthcare. So let me introduce myself. My academic background, I'm a biomedical engineer by profession. Currently I'm doing my PhD in doctorate in business administration. I have a master's in business administration, but my degree is in BA and honors in biomedical engineering. So you must be wondering how a guy from engineering goes into the management. So basically, when going in the presentation, I'll tell you why I went into management. And today we'll be basically speaking about the AI in the healthcare. What is it? How it is happening now? For example, before we go into presentation, I'll take just 5 minutes to explain what is AI and how is it involving in healthcare. Generally, when speaking, today everyone is speaking about artificial intelligence, right? Everyone knows. Okay. Now, when you take in the student crowd, what's their famous and the thing which they allow is we call ChatGPT, right? Okay. So because you go there, you type whatever you want, you get entire answers for that. Some of them are correct, some of them are wrong, because AI is also driven through data engines which we or some other individuals upload relevant data or answers, they take it, filter it and they give it to us. So it's our duty to verify whether it's correct or wrong, right? Now, some people are talking negativity of the AI, because when AI comes, our workforce will reduce, okay? The job market will go. And so hereafter we are not going to study anything related to any other field. We are going to study everything about AI, right? Well, AI is developed. It's still developing. It has to be keeping on developing, because when the world is rotating in the sense, globalization is increasing. Today, somewhere in this world a war happens, we being Sri Lankans are getting impacted. Why? Because we are connected globally. That means we don't have every resource we want on our planet. I mean our country, we have all the resources we have in our planet, but on different countries. So that means, for example, we don't have fuel in our country, so we need to import fuel. Right? We don't have certain ingredients to manufacture certain food items or any other materials. We need to import. So that is from one country to country. So let's say that country where importing fuel goes on war, price increases. When fuel price increases, everything increases. So what does AI does is, it makes sure how we can give things cost effectively accurate. Right? So, any issue? Yeah, just a second. So now in healthcare, most of us, we visit our doctors, okay? We go to hospitals. Basically, for vacations, we will go to a better hotels, better resorts, better bungalows, which can give us a relaxed and leisure time there. But in hospital, if you go to a specialist or a surgeon or a big consultant, we expect him to cure our sickness. Or probably, let's say we go with a serious flu. We want, doctor, I need a medicine. I need to be okay by tomorrow. We don't want to waste our time, right? We expect things to happen very rapidly and very fast with one medicine. Yes, so doctors are also working towards that, how we can do effectively, right? So what we are going to do here is, now when you talk about healthcare, healthcare is a big umbrella, okay? That means there are many things in healthcare, especially when for the general public, what reflects first when you talk about hospital, then doctor. But behind that relevant doctor, there's a huge team which makes a success for that doctor. So basically, I would say, being a biomedical engineer, with confidence I can say I'm proud that biomedical engineers are backbone of the healthcare system. The reason is, I'll give you an understanding example where all of us would have experienced. During COVID-19, all of us were very fearful for that virus. It's a pandemic virus, okay? And all of us, if we were positive, first thing without a question, before drinking a medicine, yeah, we would have certain medicine to ease the symptoms, but straight away we did a PCR test, okay? We did a PCR test. But what matters there is, until a test comes, whether it's positive or negative, in our own house itself, we are isolated. We will be separated in a room. Neither our children nor our spouse or our parents would come near us in fear that they will be affected, or we also don't go, make sure that they are not affected, right? So what happened gradually, to to get this report, initially the time span was 70 hours, 48 hours, then generally it became to 12 hours. How did it come? Was it the efficiency of the scientists, medical laboratory scientists who are working there? One part is that. But the machines accuracy increase with less amount of time. That means if I am able to put, if I am able to put 100 samples at a time, I should get the results within 4 hours. I was a frontliner. When COVID-19 came, I was working in hospitals and in labs. I had to deal with these things, but I was having a very risky job because I'm a biomedical engineer. So basically, if the PCR machine where we do this test doesn't work, I have to personally visit the machine wearing all sort of protective kit and see whether it's working or not. But sometimes we will feel very difficult because when you wear the PP kit, you won't be able to, feel your fingers and all. Okay, it's like something new for us. So being a frontliner, I understood the gravity, how much it's going to affect if another pandemic comes. Okay, so biomedical engineer redesigned the structures of the machine and made sure within stipulated amount of time you get the accurate results. So after that, what happened is then the AI revolution arose. So what now the healthcare wants is to revolutionize everything, try to turn over the entire healthcare system with the help of AI. Okay, so we will be going into the topic. So how can we transform? For example, there are certain diseases which is certain patients are affected in our countries, certain patients are affected differently in a different country. For example, let's take cancer. Okay, now we have certain cancers are many types. For example, we can say blood cancer. It has many types of blood cancer. We can say skin cancer. There are many types. There are stages types. But certain cases which are in Sri Lanka, not in another country like Australia. Right? So what AI is all about data. Okay, so let's say we have 3 countries in our pool. Okay, I'm taking country A, B, C. So there's no criticism. I'm not comparing, like I'm not putting anyone inferior or superior. Country A, B, and C. Certain cases are in there A, B, and C. Now only problem is these doctors who treat this have no connection with the A, B, and C. But the equipments are same. For example, I'm having the same MRI, same model in Sri Lanka, or let's say another country, or country A, B, and C. Now what we do is we integrate this system. We integrate the system. So when this case by case are scanned, for example, when you put a patient in an MRI machine, you do a full scan. Let's say we do his brain scan, or we can do his a certain organs scan. We can do any type of scan there. So let's say a patient in country B does that scan and his data is saved in that machine, and in country A, now this case is coming, doctor in country A is feeling difficult to understand what is this. So rather than telling the patient you should visit another country for your treatment, they itself can make a case study because the data is available in the machine. So it's all about data integration. So what happens is the relevant patient, his time is saved, his money is saved, right? And more than time and money, what matters in a life is when you find out a certain sickness within a stipulated time, if you are able to cure it, you should be able to cure it. That is the best service. Because life and death is something can go within a second or within a millisecond, we never know. But when we have the right data within our grasp, we will be able to save any sort of patient at any time, right? Certain cases might not, but certain cases, critical cases, yes. So the lack of data interfaces between country to country is causing this issue. So that's what all the healthcare equipments are going to be integrated with AI, right? For example, certain cases we do a certain scan, you may not have a clear image. You will not have a clear image of certain diseases. Through help of AI, you can find the future forecast, the present forecast, or what sort the outcomes can be at this each second. Then the doctor can make a rightful decision, guessing, not 100% guessing on it, but he can evaluate it, because there will be an ethical issue comparing, can the doctor trust a machine and treat my disease? There are many ethical issues when you compare AI. Okay, but AI can give you a stipulated idea how these things can grow. For example, when we take about especially breast cancers are increasing a lot, right? It starts with a lump and it spreads a lot, right? So what happens is when in certain scans it won't detect. You mean you can't see because you take a image, you see it, you may not be able to see to a naked eye. Where the AI can detect and say yes, on these relevant places certain lump is there, you can do it another scan, right? So that is the help of AI in healthcare system. Things which we may not see for our naked eye, neither the machine can see, where the AI can help us to drive us to make a better understanding that you have to recheck or you have to re-understand or you have to redo some other diagnosis. So that is what AI is helping in medical imaging. Now when I talk about CT MR, that is one part, but imaging is a lot, right? You have X-rays, you have ultrasound machines. For example, what is meant by ultrasound, right? For example, we can say in our language, many people they say go and do a scan. Let's say you have an issue in our stomach, or if you are pregnant, if you are pregnant, basically you take your spouse to a VOG, a consult. He does a scan, right? So initial stages you won't be able to find whether the baby is in good condition or not, but through the help of AI it will give you certain guessings what you have to do, how much for example the nutritional benefit, what sort of medicine you will take. This is what the medical healthcare is studying on, that is in ultrasound. Okay, now when you look about certain machines like we can go for the physiotherapy things. Okay, there are other physiotherapy things where you can do certain scan. Let's say someone is having a huge fracture in his bone, he won't be able to recover from surgery. It takes certain amount of time. So you do a small scan, certain scans looking into the bone, or you may take an X-ray looking how the minute structure is broken. Because in X-ray you will see there's a crack, there's a hairline fracture, there's this sort of fracture, you need to do this sort of surgery. But when you put an AI integrated system in an X-ray machine, it gives you better guessings. There are more fractures there. You need to have better understanding. Right? So this is what helps the doctors, and this is the work of the biomedical engineer to be innovative and give answers, solutions what the general people, the public needs within less amount of time. Right? For example, now when you talk about medicines, now for example this medicines what we take, every medicine has a side effect. Whatever medicine we take, there are side effects. We can never say no, but still we would take it. Because if you are having a fever or body pain, straight away we in Sri Lanka we go for Panadol or Panadol. Sometimes in elderly ages you can say they apply balms, right? So what happens is when you take anything to more excess, that is effective. So what does it is going to do in the medicine area is the medicine area. Okay, now every time we change the medicine, right? Now when you go to pharmacy, certain pharmacy they say we don't have medicine in this brand, we have another brand. No, I don't want, I want the old brand, but it's in out of stock. That doesn't mean that these people are doing it for the business venture. It's not for the business venture. We think, generally people think, to break the money, to plug the money, they are increasing and changing. It's not like that. Actually they are improving their drugs. They are improving. Certain same tablet or same capsule or same medicine has increased the cost. That means not because of the brand change or the name change. That because to make the efficiency of the medicine, they would have added certain more ingredients. Any other chemical compounds that we may not know, but the knowledge people, the scientists who work in this, the pharmacological scientists will know what sort of ingredients to put. So how will that idea come to him? So what is it? It's like he's taking the data of thousands of hundreds of minimum 1 million patients data. He's having 1 million patients of data who are taken drug X. He's seeing what are the positive outcomes, what are the negative outcomes. Now me being a general human being or any one of you who is seated here, I am giving you a document to see 1 million document. You have to see individually and give a report of your finding. Can we do that within 1 hour? We will minimum ask at least 6 months. And in that 6 months, are we working 100% accurately? No. We cannot work accurately 100%. That means
point to point accurate. No, our brain, when you work on the same thing, the efficiency reduces. We miss, we call it human error. We miss it, but AI doesn't miss it. You upload 1 million samples there, they will be able to calculate and give us the percentage wise, the Gantt charts or the graphs, whatever you want. Looking in those statistics, you can decide. You can decide and say, right, this should has to be increased, this should be decreased, so much of positive case, so much of negative case. How can we do it with better efficiency? If there is more negative, then one of the ingredients which is in this drug is causing the effect, we have to reduce it or can we replace it? Same thing. So everything is integrated in AI to make things easy for us, but that doesn't mean that we have to be lazy. To make the AI more efficient, we have to think how can we improve the system. Because AI is also man-created, human-created, right? So nothing is in this earth that which is God created us, or people who believe that's a different thing. But we created the system of whatever things here. So we need to see how can we improve it, right? And that is how it's accelerated here. So when you have proper medicine, for example, I think there was a very good topic recently. Scientists in Russia has found with the help of AI medicine for certain cancers. That's what, how was it? For years they were able to find it, no. But within stipulated by AI revolution, they were able to find it because of the data they have gathered globally. Through that data, with a less amount of time, you can create it. And you can even give it on certain patients are willing to do the trial test. For example, there are certain patients who is having life and death. They know that they will be passing away in 6 months, 3 months or 1 year. But there is a medicine on trial, they would ask this patient, when you take, you will obviously, your doctor has written it, okay? If you take it, there is a chance of survival 10%. Would you like to do it? There are millions of patients who want to take up their chances because there are at least 10% of chance for them to survive. So they made certain calculator like that and certain patients were cured like that, and because of that they are able to sell it in the market generally. Because when a medicine comes to market, it has to be 100% approved, 100% tested, and only it will come to us. Sometimes certain drugs would come, that's a different mafia topic which we should not talk on this forum, but there are certain drugs they create like that for that thing. So as general public, you should be educated what medicine is. Even you should be able to question certain things when happening in your health system, right? Basically, for example, there was another good example I would like to say. Recently I went to a restaurant with my wife to have my lunch. Then the supervisor boy who was working there, he was very stressed out. Okay, he was ultimately stressed, and we felt that because there were a lot of crowd coming there. Then we were not able to get a seat. So I had to basically ask him for a seat, and I had to tap his shoulder. He was not moving because some people when you tap from back they will turn around. He was not moving. Then for like within a minute he turned like this. He did a 360 spin and he was about to fail. Myself and another gentleman next to me, we got looking time, he got a fit. So these people were rushing, people who were not having the knowledge of how to overcome that, was rushing to find a metal piece. So basically if you give it in the hand, the fit will reduce. Well, that is nothing like that, it won't reduce like that. You will get him to recover, or you will have to call an ambulance. Okay, and now he's having a fit. When you get a fit, you will have a hard time breathing. So these people were rushing to give him water, where myself and my wife had to intervene, screaming, don't give water, because if he drinks, sometimes it can aspirate. That means the water can go to his lungs. So basically what happens is, today we use the AI to see every silly things. Now even the student crowd, they use AI to maybe doing their exams or assignments, but what I feel is that's a part you can use it for reference, but through AI you can understand what is the basic medical practice things that as generally a normal person should know. When you get a cardiac arrest, you should know how to do a CPR. When a person gets fit, right, you will obviously you will be traveling around. Anyone can happen anything in front of you. So if you don't even if you are not a doctor or an engineer or a medical staff, you should understand how to do a certain medical ensure like how to treat a certain person. May not give the medicine, but basic understanding of medical practice things you should know. So through AI you can do that. So that is one thing that's lacking in our country, right? Now we as engineers we are trying to develop it. Now moving into robotic surgery. Now there are certain cases, not pointing to anyone, but we know there is something called medical negligence. Certain surgeries can go wrong, certain surgeries can go correct. Certain critical surgeries, even certain surgeons wish we have a proper accurate machine to support us, because a person cutting and opening another person. Surgeons are certified consultants who have the right to do it, but at times they also require certain precise help. For example, a critical surgery will be the brain surgery. Brain surgery is a critical surgery. If you have a clot in the brain, certain time to remove that clot, it's very critical. The chances of survival and the chances of death is like 50-50. So when you have an AI guided surgery, that is called the robotic surgery, it knows what is the pressure, where to do the incision and how to do it. So that is all to the help of AI. We just put the settings, we just type it, we just guide it. No human intervention. No human intervention. That is what you call robotic surgery. Now there's another part. Probably it's not mentioned in here. You have robotic medical laboratory system. What do you mean by robotic medical laboratory system is all of us today when we go with a fever, what sort of a sickness in our body, doctor says, please do this test and come. Please do this test and come. So we go to any one of the lab, we give a blood sample or a urine sample and we come back. Then they say, okay, we will WhatsApp you or email you the report. So what happens is, the process is a laboratorist comes and draws your blood, takes it, and basically there's another process is happening. That is, you take the blood sample and you put to a certain area in the lab. Another medical laboratory scientist comes, takes it, and there's another process. Actually it takes time. Actually it takes a lot of time. It takes basically 5 to 6 staff to process your one person's blood sample. So what does this robotic medical lab does is, laboratorist just draws the blood, and I said that 5 to 6 staffs who die in the work does not need to do. You just put the sample, the entire process is done to the machine. So that's all by the intervention of artificial intelligence. Now the question comes, what will happen to the jobs there? What will happen to the job? There are 5 people's job. So putting this will reduce employee rate. No. 5 people cannot be employed, but at least 3 people needs to be employed to see if the system is working accurately. You cannot 100% trust on a system to just to generate a report. There are people need to stay behind and understand to what's happening, whether the readings are correct. Sometimes anything can get wrong in the machine. So what happens is, we get the efficiency, we get it in a stipulated time. Time reduces, accuracy increases. That is what we need. That is what we need, because when passing by person to person, certain mistakes can happen. But AI is making accuracy high. That doesn't mean reducing the job employability. So AI is there to give a better world, not to diminish it. So introducing AI in every system will make our life easy. So that is what all about the robotic surgery. Then we go for the main topic today is AI in wearable technologies. Obviously, most of us would have seen now today, we are worried about our health, right? We have these smart watches where we can calculate amount of calories I have taken, amount of calories I have burned, steps I have climbed, steps I have climbed down. All are smart. How is it happening? There are many sensors in that watch. They calculate your pulse rate, they calculate your heart rate, and do through an algorithm calculation, they give you whatever the readings, whatever the things you need. Now can you see smart wearable tracking vital signs and predicting will make sure the person who is affected will have a real life like us. So those are also integrated with artificial intelligence. What we do is, it's all about sensors. It's a bit complicated subject, but it's a very innovative subject where millions and billions of investment are done on a daily basis here. On a daily basis, there are people. So basically, your nervous system, if
if I want to move, I am moving here on the left, I am moving on to right. So basically it goes signal to my brain, and my brain gives a command to the muscle in my limbs, just move to left, move to right. So you see it's within millisecond. So same thing, the prosthetic which you are wearing has to integrate with the brain nervous system or the central nervous system and with the spine, the peripheral nervous system, it has to integrate and give the readings to your brain and move it. So the machine also has to work accordingly. Machine also has to work accordingly. So who does this? A biomedical engineer and an IT engineer. So the scientists who are having a big research knowledge on this, and it's still working, it's going. So there is thousands of millions of job markers globally in this. Okay, then you have something called rehabilitation. What do you mean by rehabilitation? People who have basically taken so much of drugs and other sort of wrong things, how are they rehabilitated? For example, today how is our rehabilitation works is, you take a person, you put him in a rehabilitation center, you straight away stop whatever you give to him. That is not the right thing. He will be psychologically affected. He will be depressed. So through AI, they intervene his body's structure, understand what is his requirement, and they increase and decrease certain dose which is given to them. They monitor that. And gradually they reduce it. Another rehabilitation is someone has gone through a serious, severe accident. We never know when he will walk. So we take him to physiotherapy. Yeah? You try to walk. But we never know when he's going to walk. AI will give you a better understanding when this guy can move or when this person can move or not move. So that is how the AI is integrated in this thing. Challenges and ethical consideration, obviously a lot. Data privacy and patient confidentiality. As I said, country A, B and C, we would not like, Sri Lankans, we are okay. We have a bit of ethical understanding. Like if we are affected, we don't want anyone else to get affected in the world like what we are suffering. It's okay. I have never seen any ethical unconsideration. Do not share my data to save another patient. But when you come for certain countries, they don't like it. They don't like at all. They are very much privacy about them. So, but the special cases are coming from those countries. To get their data, we need to get their permission. You cannot steal that. No one likes to get your personal data. For example, each one of us have our own personal bank accounts. We have our own password. No one will be willing to give our passwords, right? So these people consider those things like that, which is a big challenge. Then certain algorithms, as I said, fairness. That means certain things might go our way, certain things might not go your way. For example, I may like this thing to happen in this way, but you may like this thing to happen in that. For example, I can say, I would like to travel. If I want to go to another country, I would like to go in business class. I am willing to spend a huge sum. But some person says that's a waste of money. No, I would like to go in economic class. We have same destination, same plane, but two different class. Right? So that's how the algorithms, certain algorithms, when you do, it works like that. Same, we are going for the same motive, but not this way. You should go other way. There are certain issues like that. Regulated and compliance challenge. Certain governments are starting to challenge that certain AI thing has to be what? Has to be monitored, has to be integrated, has to be controlled. Everything we find something new, the government comes out saying everything has to be controlled. If you are not controlled, it will be a mess. True, I agree with that. Everything needs to be controlled, but if they are over controlled, people who are coming into this field to do a good thing, when they face unnecessary challenges which is not required, they will be leaving. That makes us a drawback, which is a big disaster for all of us. Okay, so certain governments are very supportive, but certain governments are not. So that is about that. Now when you look about the future prospects, okay, emerging trends in AI powered diagnostic and treatment, integration of AI with other cutting edge technologies, potential to eliminate global healthcare disparities. The last part is the biggest fulfillment for any one of us. Whatever the issue we have today, we should be able to find in AI. Until that is there, still until that is completed, whatever the new decisions come also has to be found here. Until that is completed, this is not finished. So this is a continuous growth. When will that be complete? We have never dreamt of COVID-19. We never know what sort of sickness are coming, will come or might not come. We wish it does not come. But we should be ready always to face it. So what is the matter here is, now I spoke a lot about AI. I told you how can you integrate, what you can do, how can you put these things. So where am I going to study about this subject? What I am going to study about this subject? Okay, that is, you are going to study on biomedical engineering. Once you become a biomedical engineer, you will understand the basics and the real way how a biomedical engineer should work. Then you will understand how is AI integrated in certain instruments. Then once you finish, so basically if you see, you will start by HND. If you are coming for ESoft, you will start with a higher national diploma. Then you will do your degree. Then you are going to do your masters, right? So when you are coming in your masters, you will understand what is medical equipment, what is healthcare sector, what I should do, what I should not do, and how should I work, and how can I put my knowledge into doing this AI. So the question comes, do I have job vacancies in this country? When people will challenge, no, I cannot find any job markets in top jobs or express jobs or anywhere. No, these healthcare companies, they don't advertise. They don't advertise that we are seeking such. They advertise certain marketing position. But if you are AI qualified or a biomedical engineer, you go and visit these biomedical companies. We have a lot of companies are tied up with us. They have basically tied up. We have partnered with them. They have recruited our students for their internship, and now they are given the jobs also. They are also going to the AI driven. They need a huge workforce. Actually, we in the healthcare sector, we need a huge workforce, but we have very less people to work, qualified people to work. So what matters here is, for any one of you who is really willing to study this program, you should understand IT is one part. IT in healthcare is another part. So if you are an IT specialist, if you want to do great things in IT, you can put in healthcare, because always remember, people have the basic needs. Okay, they will spend any amount of money on health. They would spend any amount of money on food, because health is very necessary and food is very necessary. So when you are in this industry, your job is also secure. So that was the result when the pandemic came. Many people lost their jobs, but we have so much of work to do. We never lost our jobs. So that now you may challenge that, who knows, but I don't wish another pandemic come, because it's a very disastrous time. What I wish is a secure world, but to help the secure world, we need a lot of intelligent intellectuals to work in this sector. So I have one sort of idea, each one of you will have a different sort of idea. When combines of idea go together in AI and healthcare, you know what happens is, role of collaboration between AI expert and biomedical engineers. When these two happens, we will have a secure nation, secure world. So that is all about my presentation. I hope I didn't make you all boring. So you all have any questions, you all can ask.